Imagine a moment so profound, so utterly life-altering, yet um, right now it's unfolding completely out of sight. Just a tiny, almost imperceptible spark.
Hmm.
We're talking about beginnings, the kind that, well, they redefine everything. And today, we're diving into exactly that kind of moment.
Yeah.
We're taking a deep dive into week 4 of pregnancy. A time when many might not even realize they're pregnant yet,
Right. It's often totally hidden.
but where truly incredible foundational developments are already underway, setting the stage for, well, everything that follows.
Absolutely. And our insights today, they're primarily drawn from a really great article on BabyCenter, meticulously reviewed.
Okay.
It's called 4 Weeks Pregnant, Symptoms, Cramping, and More.
Hmm.
It was medically reviewed by Dr. Leana Al-Rahmani, written by Kate Marple.
Got it.
And it offers this comprehensive, evidence-based look at what you can expect at this incredibly foundational and often pretty quiet stage.
So it really drilled down.
It really does. Gets into the biological processes, the practical stuff too.
Okay, good. So our mission for this deep dive is clear. We want to unpack the critical highlights of this hidden week. Understand these, astonishing biological processes happening secretly. Shed some light on the often confusing, maybe subtle early symptoms, and give you a clear, actionable checklist. Immediate steps.
Yeah, practical takeaways.
Think of this as your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed about the very, very beginning of a huge journey. Packed with, hopefully, some surprising facts and practical guidance to keep you hooked and prepared.
Sounds great.
Okay, let's unpack this right from the start then. For many people, the first tangible sign, right, the moment it all clicks into reality,
Yeah, that test.
is that home pregnancy test. But the BabyCenter source makes it clear. There's a real science and a bit of a strategic timing element to getting it right at week 4.
Definitely.
You might be desperate to see that clear positive line, but patience really is a virtue here, and for good reason.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what's truly fascinating here is the crucial role of human chorionic gonadotropin.
All right, HCG.
HCG, exactly. This is the hormone that those pregnancy tests are specifically designed to detect in your urine. Your body starts producing it once the fertilized egg implants in the uterus, and the levels, well, they rise very rapidly in early pregnancy.
Super fast.
Incredibly fast. Now, while some tests, they boldly claim they can detect pregnancy 5 days before a missed period.
You see those claims everywhere.
Yeah, they're out there. But the BabyCenter article strongly advises waiting. Waiting until the first day of your missed period for the most accurate, most reliable results.
And that's not just, the manufacturers covering themselves.
No, not at all. It's really about optimizing for clarity, avoiding that unnecessary emotional roller coaster, because if you test too soon,
Yeah.
the HCG levels simply might not be high enough yet for the test to actually register a definitive positive. It takes time to build up.
So testing too soon can absolutely lead to what's called false negative. Where you were pregnant, but the test frustratingly says no.
Right, or worse almost.
Yeah. Or that agonizingly faint line
Yeah.
that just leaves you second-guessing, squinting, analyzing.
Oh, yeah. Holding it up to the light.
Totally. It's a period of intense uncertainty that can be, well, emotionally draining.
For sure.
So by waiting, you're not just being patient. You're strategically optimizing for certainty, for peace of mind.
You want to trust that result.
You want to trust that result unequivocally.
Right.
Right. And those extra few days can make all the difference for a clear, unambiguous answer, allowing you to move forward with confidence, not doubt.
Exactly. Getting that solid confirmation right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Exactly. That clear, confident signal is just paramount for mental and emotional well-being. And speaking of certainty, once that positive test appears, often the very next thought that flashes through your mind is,
When is it?
when's the big day? When will the baby arrive? Yeah. But the source tells us that due dates aren't nearly as set in stone as we might commonly think.
Right. There's this widespread idea that it's like an exact expiration date.
Yeah, like a fixed appointment. But it's really far more fluid, more of a target than a precise bullseye.
Yeah, you hear about due dates all the time. People count down, plan their lives around them. But this deep dive really clarifies it's more of a general target, a flexible window.
That's a great way to put it, a window.
The BabyCenter article actually uses the phrase, just a guess. So how much of a guess are we talking about here? It sounds like flexibility is going to be key right from the start.
It absolutely is. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the source very clearly states that only 1 out of 20 women actually delivers on her due date.
Wow, only 1 in 20. That's tiny.
It's remarkably small. It's far, far more likely for labor to spontaneously begin any day during the 2 weeks before or the 2 weeks after that estimated date.
So a whole 4-week window, really.
Exactly, a 4-week window. And this inherent flexibility, it raises an important question for expectant parents, right? What does this mean for how you should approach planning and managing expectations?
Yeah, what does it mean?
It means that while the due date gives you a focal point, it's absolutely essential to think of it as that 4-week window, a much broader concept, not a single fixed day.
Okay.
Embracing this perspective can significantly reduce stress about, going past due or things not happening on time. It allows for much more realistic preparation, understanding that your body and your baby will ultimately determine the exact timing.
Not the calendar.
Not the calendar. It's a vital lesson, maybe the first one, in relinquishing control and embracing the unpredictable nature of new life.
That's a huge shift in perspective. And frankly, a very healthy one to adopt right from the beginning. Instead of pinning all your hopes and anxieties on one specific day,
Right.
you're looking at a broader period, which I imagine can alleviate a lot of pressure. The source mentions that a due date calculator can help provide an initial estimate.
Yes, they do. Typically based on your last menstrual period or maybe your conception date if you know it. It gives you a ballpark figure to work with.
So a starting point, a guide for general planning, but definitely not a hard deadline.
Exactly. It lets you get a general sense of when this major life change might happen without holding you rigidly to a single day, which in a way is probably the first big lesson in parenthood, isn't it?
Totally. Embracing the unexpected and the beautifully unpredictable.
It truly is. All about embracing that beautiful uncertainty and the unfolding mystery. And here's where it gets really interesting. A point that often feels like a secret happening right under our noses, while you might not feel much externally or see any visible changes yet.
Right, you feel totally normal maybe.
Exactly. But incredible, profound things are already happening at a microscopic cellular level inside your body during week 4.
Wow.
What exactly is transforming inside at that very early stage? It's a monumental shift, largely unseen, yet deeply significant for the entire course of development.
It's truly mind-boggling to think about. This tiny, almost invisible entity, smaller than a grain of rice.
Even smaller.
Even smaller. And yet it's already on its way to becoming something so complex, so intricate.
Mm-hmm.
So what is happening in this hidden world of cellular development during this pivotal week? What's the secret life?
The transformation is utterly remarkable, truly a feat of biological engineering. Your baby-to-be, which began as just a ball of cells, that blastocyst we talked about,
Right.
now undergoes a critical transition to officially become an embryo. And at week 4, this embryo is roughly the size of a poppy seed.
A poppy seed, like on a bagel.
Exactly like on a bagel. Imagine the tiniest seed, maybe 1 to 1.5 millimeters across. That's it.
Wow.
And this isn't just a simple change in name or size. It's a profound developmental milestone where distinct structures begin to emerge.
Okay.
The official designation as an embryo happens once the amniotic sac forms, usually around 10 to 12 days after fertilization.
So right around now, week 4.
Right around now, this tiny poppy seed-sized entity is no longer just a collection of multiplying cells. It is now the fundamental blueprint, a precisely organized structure from which all future development will rapidly and intricately unfold over the next 6 weeks.
An explosion of activity.
It's an explosion of differentiation and organization, silently laying the groundwork for every single organ and system in the human body. It's incredible.
Our tiny poppy seed-sized embryo is absolutely bustling with activity inside then.
Oh, absolutely.
It's incredible to imagine something so small being so busy, so purposeful. What exactly are these cells doing, and why is this stage considered so incredibly critical for everything that follows? Sounds like there's a tremendous amount of specialized work going on.
You're absolutely right to call it bustling now that your little embryo has successfully implanted in the uterus, which is a crucial, delicate step in itself that usually finishes up around this week. Its cells are multiplying at an astonishing exponential rate, but it's not just about raw numbers. It's about quality and specialization. These cells are beginning to take on different, highly specialized functions.
Okay, like what?
Well, the embryo now consists of 2 distinct layers. They're called the hypoblast and the epiblast. And it's from these 2 fundamental layers that all of the baby's organs will start to develop over the next 6 weeks.
Just 2 layers become everything.
Essentially, yes. There's this astounding process called gastrulation. Embryologists often describe it as maybe the most crucial event in human development.
Wow.
Imagine those two initial layers, the hypoblast and epiblast, precisely folding and reorganizing themselves to form three distinct primary germ layers.
3 layers now.
3 layers.
Huh.
The ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. And from these three, everything else will spring forth.
Like what comes from each one?
Okay, so your baby's skin, hair, nails, the entire nervous system, including the brain and spinal cord that develops from the ectoderm.
Okay, outer stuff and nerves.
Right. Then the muscles, bones, cartilage, kidneys, the circulatory system, reproductive organs. That all forms from the mesoderm, the middle layer.
Got it. The structure and plumbing.
Pretty much. And finally, the linings of the digestive and respiratory systems, plus organs like the liver and pancreas, those emerge from the endoderm, the inner layer.
Amazing.
Because this foundational work is so intricate and precise, this period is unequivocally highlighted as the time when the developing baby is most vulnerable.
Right.
Most vulnerable to anything that might interfere with its development. Any disruption here, even seemingly minor exposures, can have significant lasting impacts on organ formation.
Making careful choices paramount right now.
Absolutely paramount.
So this truly means extreme caution is needed. The BabyCenter article is very clear. Steering clear of alcohol, smoking, illicit drugs, unsafe chemicals.
Yeah.
It's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Full stop.
And it's not just about what you ingest,
Yeah.
right? You mentioned overheating too.
Yes, absolutely. High body temperatures, especially this early in pregnancy, have been directly linked to an increased risk of neural tube defects.
Which are really serious birth defects affecting the brain and spinal cord.
Extremely serious. That's why things like saunas, steam baths, hot tubs, they just aren't recommended right now.
Okay, so what does this all mean for daily life choices? For someone who might just be finding out they're pregnant, maybe even on a whim, and then suddenly has this profound responsibility.
It means a sudden, significant, and immediate shift in habits is absolutely necessary for the baby's protection.
It's like overnight, things have to change.
Completely. It's about being incredibly mindful of everything you consume or expose yourself to, because what might seem totally harmless to you could be profoundly impactful for this rapidly and delicately forming life inside.
That's a huge responsibility right from the get-go.
It is indeed a complete paradigm shift in personal choices, driven by the profound knowledge of this intense vulnerability and rapid development.
Okay, so building on that idea of connection and supply, how does this rapidly growing embryo actually connect with the parent's body to get what it needs? How does it tap into that vital supply line, considering it's still so incredibly tiny?
Well, it's establishing that connection right now.
It must be utterly fundamental and immediate. This tiny poppy seed of life needs sustenance, right?
Yeah.
A constant stream of nutrients and oxygen to keep growing and differentiating.
Absolutely. It can't wait.
So what's forming right now to make that critical exchange possible?
The answer lies in that process called implantation, which, as we said, typically finishes around week 4. The embryo's outer cells are actively tunneling into the thick, nutrient-rich lining of the uterus.
Tunneling? That sounds active.
It is. It's not a passive embedding. It's an active, almost invasive process where the embryonic cells begin to intertwine with the maternal blood vessels.
Wow.
Within this tunneling layer, spaces start to form. They're designed specifically for the parent's blood to flow into and basically bathe the embryonic cells.
Okay, so direct contact with the blood supply.
Exactly. This primitive placenta is essentially the earliest version, the iteration 1.0, of the vital organ that will eventually provide all the necessary nutrients and oxygen while also removing waste products.
A lifeline.
It's the foundational step in establishing that essential supply chain. It transforms the uterine lining into this dynamic interface between parent and baby. It's a true miracle of biological engineering to support and sustain this early life.
A remarkable example of the body immediately adapting.
Instantly adapting to meet these intense demands of growth.
Okay, so beyond that incredible primitive placenta, what other crucial support structures are forming around this nascent life? It really seems like there's a whole miniature, perfectly designed ecosystem developing.
There really is. It's amazing.
Even before you'd ever be able to see it.
Right. At just 4 weeks, an amniotic sac is already forming around the embryo.
The water bag.
Essentially, yes. This sac, which will eventually fill with amniotic fluid, is truly remarkable. It acts as a vital cushion, protecting the baby as they grow, shielding them from bumps and impacts.
Like a natural shock absorber.
Exactly. And it provides a stable, temperature-controlled environment for optimal development. It's your baby's first, perfectly designed home.
Cozy.
Very cozy. Additionally, there's a yolk sac present.
A yolk sac. like a chicken egg.
Sort of. It sounds primitive, but while it's temporary, this tiny yolk sac plays a hugely significant role. It provides initial nourishment to the embryo before the primitive placenta is fully functional and efficient enough to take over the main feeding role.
So it bridges the gap.
It bridges that gap perfectly. And beyond nourishment, it's also crucial for producing cells that will later turn into essential components like the umbilical cord.
The ultimate lifeline.
Absolutely. And parts of the gastrointestinal system and even the reproductive organs.
Wow, it does a lot for a temporary structure.
It really does. It's a remarkable temporary support system that lays the groundwork for critical permanent structures. It just shows the body's incredible foresight and efficiency in early development.
That's incredible. A temporary organ doing such vital foundational work before handing off. Like a biological relay race.
That's a perfect analogy.
Now, many might be wondering about twins or more at this stage. It's a common, exciting question that pops into people's minds right away, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Does the source offer any early clues about the possibility of multiples? Can you tell if you're suddenly going to need 2 cribs instead of 1 this early?
Well, the short answer is no, not really. The source acknowledges this common curiosity, but it clearly states it's simply too soon to know definitively if you're having twins or more at this 4-week mark.
Too small to see on ultrasound yet.
Exactly. The embryos are still so tiny, and the uterus is just beginning its changes. You wouldn't see it yet. However, the source does still offer the opportunity to, visualize what fraternal twins look like in the womb this week.
Oh, interesting.
Which implies that while it's not clinically confirmed, the possibility often crosses minds early on, especially if there's, say, a family history.
Right. And you mentioned fraternal twins.
Right.
What's the difference again?
Right. Good question. So fraternal twins develop from 2 separate eggs fertilized by 2 separate sperm. They implant separately. They're genetically like siblings who just happen to share the womb.
Okay.
Identical twins, on the other hand, come from a single fertilized egg that splits very early in development, usually during that blastocyst stage or just after. So they share the same genetic makeup.
Got it. And the source mentions factors that increase the likelihood.
Yes, it suggests learning about factors that increase your likelihood. Things like a family history of fraternal twins, it runs on the mother's side, advanced maternal age, or certain fertility treatments.
Okay.
So while you can't confirm it yet, you can certainly start thinking about the possibilities and factors that might make it more likely. Maybe preparing your mind for what could be a double or even triple blessing.
That's a great distinction to make, adding that layer of science even if you can't see them yet.
Okay.
Okay, now let's pivot to what many people expect to feel.
Ah, yes. The symptoms, or lack thereof.
Exactly. Many envision a dramatic shift the moment they conceive. Maybe feeling a sudden internal ping or a wave of overwhelming symptoms. But the BabyCenter article makes it abundantly clear that experiencing no pregnancy symptoms at 4 weeks is actually quite common. Normal, even.
Very normal.
So what does this all mean for those who feel absolutely nothing? Who might get that positive test result and then wonder if it's even real because their body doesn't feel pregnant?
This raises a profoundly important question, because people do worry if they don't feel sick or tired.
Right.
The source provides a very clear and hopefully comforting reassurance. Many women genuinely don't feel anything yet. It clarifies that by next week, around week 5, maybe about half of women might start to experience some symptoms.
Okay, half by week 5.
But the majority of those classic early pregnancy symptoms, they don't typically begin until around 6 weeks.
So feeling nothing at week 4 is totally fine.
Totally fine. It's a crucial reminder that every pregnancy journey is deeply unique. A quiet, symptom-free beginning is perfectly normal and healthy. It absolutely doesn't indicate that anything is wrong.
That's good to hear.
It's simply that the hormonal shifts, while profound internally, haven't yet manifested in noticeable physical sensations for everyone. So if you're feeling a bit underwhelmed by the lack of drama, know that you are in good company. And your body is still doing incredibly complex, vital work behind the scenes.
That's a huge weight off the shoulders for so many listeners, I'm sure. It's good to know that normal has a very wide, accommodating range, especially early on.
And absolutely.
But for those who do start to feel things or are looking for indicators, what are some of the common early signs the source highlights? What's maybe one of the first physical sensations many women notice?
One of the very first physiological responses to those dramatic hormonal changes is often breast tenderness and swelling.
Oh, okay. Smooth.
Exactly. That sensation typically starts around 4 to 6 weeks, and it can often last through the entire first trimester, sometimes even longer.
And it's not just soreness.
No, you might not just feel tenderness or a dull ache.
Hmm.
The source notes you could also observe your breasts actually growing in size, feeling heavier. You might notice your nipples darkening or the little bumps on the areola becoming more prominent.
Montgomery's tubercles.
That's them. And you might even see prominent blue or purple veins developing on your breasts as blood flow increases dramatically to the area.
Wow, visible changes too.
Yes, those are direct, visual, physiological responses to increased blood flow and the preparation of your mammary glands for future milk production. It's a very clear, if sometimes uncomfortable, sign your body is already adapting.
And what about that pervasive feeling of just wanting to lie down, sleep all day, even after a full night's rest? Exhaustion seems like a really common theme.
Oh, it's huge. For many women, an overwhelming, sometimes debilitating exhaustion is indeed one of the earliest and most impactful signs.
Hits you like a ton of bricks.
It really can. This profound pregnancy fatigue affects almost all expectant mothers in the first trimester. And it's largely attributed to that dramatic rise in progesterone.
The sleepy hormone.
Exactly. Progesterone has powerful sedative qualities. It almost physically demands you to rest. Its surge, combined with the immense energy your body is expending on, building a human,
Cell multiplication, gastrulation, all that stuff.
all that complex work we just discussed, it can leave you feeling completely drained, like you've run a marathon, even if you've just woken up.
Yeah.
It's your body working incredibly hard behind the scenes. Rest isn't just desired, it's truly necessary. So if you find yourself nodding off at your desk or needing an afternoon nap,
Don't fight it.
don't fight it. Understand it's a biological imperative, not a personal failing.
Okay. Now for the big one. The infamous morning sickness.
The symptom everyone knows?
It's almost a cliche, right? You hear about it in movies, but the name itself is a bit misleading, isn't it? Like it only strikes with your morning coffee.
So misleading. Despite its common name, nausea and vomiting can strike absolutely any time of day or night, often without warning. And for some, it's a constant companion.
Ugh, not just morning then.
Definitely not just morning. While it most commonly starts around 6 weeks, the BabyCenter article confirms it can begin as early as 4 weeks for some people, maybe even before a missed period for a very small percentage.
Really? That early?
It can happen. And the prevalence is significant. Up to 80% of accepting moms experience some form of nausea during pregnancy.
80%. That's most people.
The vast majority. And about half experience both nausea and vomiting. So it's a very widespread symptom that can profoundly impact daily life, making it hard to eat, work, socialize.
Just function.
Just function normally. The exact cause isn't fully understood, but it's strongly linked to the rapid increase in HCG and estrogen.
Any tips for relief in the source?
Yes, it suggests things like eating smaller, more frequent meals keeps something in your stomach, avoiding triggers like strong smells or greasy foods, and trying ginger in various forms can help too. Ginger ale, ginger candies, fresh ginger tea.
Ginger seems to be the go-to.
It often provides surprising comfort for many.
Okay. What about feeling a bit bigger, even without a visible bump? It sounds like some significant digestive changes are also at play very early on.
Absolutely. Increased progesterone levels, once again, are the culprit here. They contribute significantly to gas and bloating by slowing down your digestion.
How does it do that?
Well, progesterone relaxes smooth muscles throughout your body. That includes the muscles in your digestive tract.
Oh, okay.
So things get sluggish. Food moves more slowly. It can ferment, produce more gas. The source states that even weeks before you begin to show a real baby bump, you might notice yourself burping or passing gas much more often.
Lovely.
Or even needing to unbutton your pants to relieve that uncomfortable pressure from bloating. It's an early, often uncomfortable sign of your body adjusting hormonally.
Not the baby size yet.
Definitely not the baby size, which, as we know, is still minuscule. It's your gastrointestinal system reacting to these new conditions, and it can be quite a shock if you're not expecting it.
Okay, moving on to something a bit more worrying, maybe. Cramping. That can be incredibly alarming, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're just finding out you're pregnant.
Yes, absolutely. It's easy to jump to the worst-case scenario.
For sure. But the source indicates it's often nothing to worry about in early pregnancy. So how do you figure out when it's typical, part of the process, versus when you should absolutely seek medical advice? That distinction is crucial.
It's a very important distinction because anxiety around cramping is understandably high. In early pregnancy, some women experience what are known as implantation cramps.
Oh.
Sometimes these come with very light spotting, maybe a few drops of pink or brown blood. This happens as the fertilized egg embeds itself deeply into the uterine lining. It's a normal, healthy part of the process.
And these cramps feel?
They're typically mild, short-lived, and often feel like light period cramps. Nothing too intense.
Okay. But when should you worry?
Right. The source clearly provides a crucial caution. First trimester cramps, when they're combined with other symptoms, particularly any form of bleeding that is heavier than light spotting, or if they're accompanied by severe one-sided pain, that can signal a serious problem.
Like what kind of problem?
It could be something concerning like an ectopic pregnancy where the embryo implants outside the uterus. That's a medical emergency. Or, unfortunately, it could signal a miscarriage, which typically presents with heavier bleeding and more severe, persistent cramping.
So severity and bleeding are key signals.
Absolutely. This raises that important question about discerning normal physiological changes from potentially serious complications and knowing when to call your doctor or midwife.
So the bottom line is, if the cramps are severe, if they're persistent, if they're accompanied by bleeding heavier than just light spotting, or if you feel dizzy or faint, seek immediate medical attention. Don't wait. Okay. Good to know the warning signs. It's all about being informed to make the right call. And speaking of emotions, hormones, upheaval, emotions can certainly be a roller coaster.
Oh, absolutely.
How does the source describe this emotional landscape in week 4 when everything is still so new and unseen?
Mood swings during pregnancy are this really complex interplay. You've got the dramatic hormonal fluctuations, big surges in estrogen and progesterone. You've got the stress of the significant life change. And you've got the general exhaustion we talked about.
A perfect storm for emotions.
Pretty much. These emotional shifts, ranging from maybe heightened joy and excitement one minute to unexpected irritability, anxiety, or profound sadness the next, they're often strongest in the first trimester.
And it's normal.
Emotional upheaval is explicitly described as normal and expected. However, and this is really important, the source provides a vital warning.
Okay.
If your mood swings become more frequent, more intense, if they feel overwhelming, or if they last longer than 2 weeks, it's really important to talk to your provider.
Why is that?
Because approximately 1 in 10 women battle mild to moderate depression during pregnancy. And these mood changes can also signal other perinatal mood and anxiety disorders.
So it's not just normal mood swings if it's persistent or severe.
Exactly. It's a reminder that your emotional well-being is just as vital as your physical health during this time. Seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Don't just dismiss persistent mood changes as, oh, it's just hormones, if they are significantly impacting your daily life.
Your mental health deserves attention.
Absolutely.
That's such an important point about seeking support, breaking any stigma. Okay, so once that positive test is confirmed, and you're navigating all these early changes, maybe symptoms, maybe not, what's the very first concrete step you should take to officially kick off this journey?
Right. It's easy to get overwhelmed. Where do you start?
Yeah, exactly. A clear starting point is essential.
The immediate and crucial action is to call your doctor or midwife to schedule your first prenatal appointment.
Okay, make the call.
Make the call. Now, while many healthcare providers typically schedule this initial visit for when you're around 8 weeks pregnant.
Why wait until 8 weeks?
Well, it allows more time for the pregnancy to establish itself, and usually the first ultrasound around then is more conclusive, more reassuring. You can usually see a heartbeat clearly.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
But the source highlights that some providers will see you sooner, especially if you have an existing medical condition like diabetes or thyroid issues.
These that need managing.
Exactly. Or if you have a history of past pregnancy problems, maybe previous miscarriages or an ectopic pregnancy. Or if you're experiencing concerning symptoms right now, like vaginal bleeding, abdominal pain, or severe nausea and vomiting.
So they might see you earlier in those cases.
Yes. It emphasizes a proactive approach to healthcare, ensuring you get the right support and monitoring for your specific circumstances right from the start. That initial call is about establishing that foundational relationship with your care team and beginning your individualized prenatal care plan.
Okay. And what about medications? Prescription ones, or even those over-the-counter things you might take without a second thought, ibuprofen for a headache, maybe certain cold remedies?
Yeah, that's a huge one.
It feels like suddenly everything comes under intense scrutiny. What was once safe might now be a concern.
This is a critical safety point that absolutely cannot be overstated. The source is very firm. You should always check with your healthcare provider before taking any kind of medicine during pregnancy.
Any kind, even Tylenol.
Always check first. Whether it's a prescription medication you've been on for years or an over-the-counter product like a pain reliever, antacid, allergy medication, even certain vitamins or herbal supplements.
Why is that so important right now?
Because many common medications are simply not safe for pregnancy. They could pose significant risks to the developing baby, especially during this highly vulnerable period of organ formation. These first few weeks are critical.
Right, when all those layers are forming.
Exactly. If you are currently taking any medication, it is imperative that you ask your provider if it is safe for pregnancy. If it isn't, your doctor or midwife can help you find a safe and effective alternative, or maybe adjust your dosage.
And this applies to herbal stuff, too.
Absolutely. Don't assume natural means safe during pregnancy. It's about meticulously ensuring the safest chemical environment for the developing baby. This often means a careful review and adjustment of your usual medication regimen.
So the rule is, don't guess, don't assume.
Always consult with a medical professional. Your doctor, your midwife, even your pharmacist is an excellent resource for this specific question. Just ask.
Okay, great advice. Now, circling back to those fun digestive issues, the gas and bloating we discussed.
Yes, the glamour of early pregnancy.
And believe me, it can be really uncomfortable, leaving you feeling unexpectedly full, even at just 4 weeks. Are there any practical, immediate tips the source offers for digestive comfort?
Yes, thankfully. The source offers several helpful practical strategies to alleviate that digestive discomfort, which can indeed be a real nuisance, making your clothes feel tight long before any actual baby bump.
Okay, what are they?
Things like eating smaller, more frequent meals throughout the day. Instead of 3 big meals, try maybe 5 or 6 smaller ones.
Keep the system moving gently.
Exactly. It keeps your digestive system from becoming overwhelmed and helps maintain more stable blood sugar levels, too. Eating slowly and chewing your food thoroughly is also advised aids initial digestion, reduces air swallowing.
Makes sense.
Also, limiting excessive water intake during meals can help reduce bloating. Definitely stay hydrated between meals, that's critical, but maybe don't gulp down huge amounts with your food.
Interesting. What about things to avoid?
Yes, it specifically advises avoiding carbonated beverages, obviously adds gas. Chewing gum, you swallow more air. And the artificial sweetener sorbitol, which is known for its laxative and gas-producing effects.
Okay, good to know. Anything else?
Finally, incorporating gentle physical activity, like a leisurely walk or some modified prenatal yoga. It's suggested as a natural way to provide relief by stimulating digestion and movement.
So simple lifestyle adjustments can make a difference.
They really can make a significant difference in your comfort during this early, often gassy phase.
Okay, so now that you've, confirmed your pregnancy, started thinking about appointments, checked your medications, you've just stepped onto this incredibly unique and profound path.
It's a big step.
What's next in terms of understanding the whole picture? How do you gain a broader sense of the journey ahead beyond just this initial week?
That's a great question. It's easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day. The source encourages you to get a sneak peek at the months ahead with a quick pregnancy overview.
Like looking at the whole map.
Exactly. Well, this isn't just about reading more articles, though that helps. It's about connecting this immediate week, full of unseen wonders, to the broader timeline of your entire pregnancy journey. Understanding the typical stages, the key milestones of each trimester, the common physical and emotional changes that lie ahead, it just helps you mentally prepare for the vast transformation to come.
So you kind of know what to expect down the road.
Right. It's about not just focusing on this immediate week, but setting expectations and gaining context for the monumental adventure ahead. This kind of overview empowers you to anticipate and plan, rather than feeling constantly surprised or reactive. Fosters a sense of preparedness and calm.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the belly. We often associate pregnancy with a rapidly growing belly, right? That visible baby bump that magically appears.
A classic image.
But at 4 weeks, the source tells us it's something else entirely that might be making your pants feel snug, completely unrelated to a growing baby. So what's really happening with your belly at this microscopic stage? And what does it mean for how you feel and dress?
Yeah, this is fascinating and often a source of surprise for people. Understanding that any feeling of, the button on your pants digging into your belly at this extremely early stage, week 4, is entirely due to bloating.
Just bloating, not the baby or uterus.
Not the baby or uterus at all. As we discussed, those increased progesterone levels significantly slow down digestion, leading to notable gas and fluid retention. Your uterus, it's still tucked safely behind your pelvic bone. it's nowhere near big enough to cause a visible bump.
And the embryo is poppy seed size.
Exactly. So this bloating is an immediate and very common physical change that can happen way before any actual baby bump starts to show, which usually doesn't happen until the second trimester, or maybe between weeks 12 and 16 for most first-time moms.
Wow, that late?
Often, yeah. So it's an important distinction to manage expectations. Understand what your body is truly experiencing so you don't mistakenly think you're showing already or feel frustrated by a seemingly expanding waistline that isn't actually the baby yet.
Okay, so if it's primarily bloating and not a baby bump, what does this all mean for wardrobe choices in these initial weeks? You might be feeling quite uncomfortable in your regular clothes, but it's far too early for full-on maternity wear.
Right, that awkward in-between stage.
Yeah. What's the practical advice the source offers for both comfort and maybe discretion during this phase?
The source offers excellent, very practical advice for comfort during this interim period. It suggests that while it will realistically be a few months before, true maternity clothes are genuinely needed.
So don't rush out and buy them.
Probably not yet, but embracing items that are loose-fitting at the waist is absolutely key right now. Think comfortable leggings, soft joggers, spacious sweats, flowy maxi dresses.
Your comfort essentials.
These are your absolute best friends during this stage of subtle yet impactful physical changes. It also highlights that common in-between phase where your regular clothes just don't fit comfortably on the waist anymore, that dreaded digging in feeling, but you're not yet ready for full maternity wear.
What do you wear then?
For this stage, the advice is to explore your current closet with an eye for soft knits, athleisure wear, loose-fitting blouses, oversized cardigans, and roomy dresses.
Things you might already have.
Exactly. These types of items are not only comfortable and forgiving, allowing for the bloating, but they can also be incredibly helpful if you're not ready to announce your pregnancy yet.
Ah, good point. For discretion.
Right. They allow for discretion, keeping well-meaning but curious friends and colleagues from asking questions you might not be ready to answer. It's about prioritizing comfort and privacy as your body begins its incredible unseen transformation.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive into week 4 of pregnancy, wow, we've covered a lot.
We really have. It's a packed wick, even if you don't feel it.
We've explored the amazing unseen transformation from blastocyst to that poppy seed-sized embryo, understood the nuances of early pregnancy tests, and the surprisingly flexible nature of due dates. We've shed light on the surprisingly varied symptoms, or often the complete lack thereof, and identified those crucial early checklist items, like scheduling prenatal appointments and meticulously reviewing all your medications.
Key first steps.
It's crystal clear that even at this microscopic, often unseen stage, your body is embarking on a profound, intricate, and deeply complex journey.
It truly is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this early week really underscores the incredible biological complexity, the foresight, the resilience of the human body.
Yeah.
What starts as a poppy seed-sized entity, just a tiny collection of differentiating cells, is already laying the intricate, perfect groundwork for a future human being, forming vital structures with astounding precision and speed.
It's mind-blowing.
It really is. And this raises an important question, doesn't it? How does acknowledging such a powerful, unseen beginning a process that literally defines our very existence? How does that reshape our understanding of growth, of vulnerability, and maybe the very essence of life itself?
That's deep.
It's a profound reminder, I think, that some of the most fundamental and impactful processes happen quietly beneath the surface, yet they are absolutely foundational.
Absolutely. So consider this as we finish. Every single person on this planet began as a tiny poppy seed-sized embryo, intricately forming over these vital first weeks, entirely unseen yet destined to grow into the complex conscious beings we are today. It's a hidden miracle, really.
It truly is.
What other profound unseen processes might be unfolding around us or even within us that we rarely acknowledge or give credit for? Keep exploring, keep questioning, and join us next time for another deep dive into the fascinating world around within you.